I'm Sam Mitchell, and these are my stories. Hi folks, having a good day today. Let me first welcome you to Autism Rocks and Rolls. Now before we get messed up, I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist. If you're starting to be diagnosed with autism, please see a physician and listen to some of my experiences. I also know the right to the internet that are found on danielbooking.com and mediafiresound.com. I also have Mr. Sarah interview with all of you. The mission of Autism Rocks and Rolls is to take the stigma off of autism and other conditions that may think are disabilities. People on spectrum are not broken and not need to be fixed. Those who have conditions or abilities want to be pitied. There's nothing to be sorry about. I do have some paid for the following. We do have some gala sponsors that I did not have time to shout out, but I will now. Alpha Delta Pi Sorority Group, Garatia's Professional Power Washing, and B97 Radio Station. Thank you for your continuous support. The Piece by Piece ABA Center in Indiana is outstanding. A family-run company called Piece by Piece cherishes every child and family. They apply evidence-based strategies to support young children in realizing their full potential and to empower parents. The organization provides services to a number of cities, including Frankfort, Lafayette, Fort Wayne, Lebanon, Crawfordsville, and Cloverdale. For further information, visit their website or get in touch with the branch in your area. You cannot miss this thrilling encounter. We ought to give thanks to our friends at GM Charity for Kids. My dad works in Lawrence County, and GM Charity for Kids has long supported youth-related initiatives in the community. Funds are raised for the children's activities by this 501c3 organization's Bedford, Indiana's based staff, friends, and suppliers. Boston Scientific is an additional subject I would like to talk about. This business uses scientific medicine to try to make people's lives better. Offices across the globe, including ones each in Costa Rica and Indiana. It is crucial for people who wish to use science to improve their lives of others to go overseas and represent the research group. Please visit bostonscientific.com to apply for a position or browse on their website for additional details. I need to mention Bloomington's Moose Lodge as well. Their origins may be located in 1888 when Dr. Henry Wilson, the Moose founder, opened the organization inaugural lodge in Louisville, Kentucky. Initially, the Moose was founded with the basic intention of providing a place for men to socialize, take care of each other's needs, and celebrate life. You can engage in a lot of variety of activities as a family or as an individual at your nearby lodges. The Moose offers a lot of activities, including live entertainment, sports, dances, holiday parties, and themed dinners. Check them out right now. And there are some people I like to thank. While I was on hiatus, I ran into my good friend and famous comedian Judy Gold in C208 opening the Silly Toolbox with Judy Gold for more information, but it was awesome seeing her and getting to meet her in person. We love you, Judy. Plus, the nonprofit was still going because ARAR had their monthly board meeting. Through this meeting, we were looking at the final touches for our third gala. My mother, C105, Meet My Mother, and I got the opportunity to advertise our gala on 3 radio stations. I appeared on Vincent's 91.1 WVUB with Dave Foster. Then my mother performed on Party Marty's radio station and B97. Thank you for allowing us this privilege. Prior to discussing our gala, I should mention I gave a virtual speech at the Autism International Summit. What I did was bring Red Dead Redemption C215 and Autistic Redemption live. Sarah Bradford deserves special recognition for continuously inviting me. It's time to mention what everyone's been waiting for. That is the 3rd annual gala ARAR hosted. All I will say is that in the world of ARAR, it was yet another successful day with a purpose, and the Woolery Mill looks stunning. We would especially like to thank Laura Eldridge for letting us rent the space. We also want to thank everyone who contributed. Without you, we could not have done this. I participated in a speed networking event during my break, produced by Shu and hosted by Countercult. It was called Virtual Creative. Undoubtedly, I made some new friends. Finally, although I was mainly focused on the gala while on hiatus, I did have time to be on 2 podcasts. They are the Pizzetta Media Content with the Cause podcast with Michael Vanzetta and the Earth School podcast with Gazetta Chayanikowski. What great podcast, everyone. Now, folks, we'll be right back here and an ad from our new friends at Big Red Liquor, so let's get to it. Since 1972, Big Red Liquors has been serving Indiana and the world for 52 years. They aim to deliver great choice, worth, and service while also acting as an interpersonal partner. When you walk into a Big Red Liquor store, you will not only be surprised, but also astonished by what the employees have to offer and the experience as well. They discuss the past and norms involved with responsible drinking. From the president to the entire staff, their objective is to make daily tasks easier and more pleasurable. It is shown because they serve beers that are made in foreign countries such as France and Japan. They sell more than just alcohol in their store, including cigarettes, kegs, and snacks. Your time at Big Red Liquors is more of a great time if you are the Big Red VIP. VIP members receive priority notification for hard-to-find products, elite barrels, uncommon beer releases, special events, and more. It is even a convenience since Big Red Liquors offers delivery if in Indiana. Like me, Big Red Liquors owns a podcast called the Liquor Store Podcast that should be checked out. All the more why everyone should make a stop at a Big Red Liquor store near you. Or if not, make sure to download their app to stay in the loop. Alright folks, we're back. It wasn't Big Bad Fat John stuck in the mind, but it was actually Big Red Liquors. Yes, it's true, everybody. I'm back with a new season, and I keep coming back, though, for lots of reasons, everybody. That's what I'm talking to you about today. Part of why I keep coming back is this is all I know. I'm not saying I don't know anything other than broadcasting. I know some basic math. I can tell you 2 plus 2 equals 4. I know some English. I can tell you what to capitalize and what not to capitalize. I know some science. I know from biology the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And I know some social studies. I could tell you, if I wanted to, when Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery. Heck, even though I'm not a culinary artist, I know that in hash you have to cut the food in small pieces in order for it to be hash. But compared to broadcasting, I know most about that. I know more about the editing. I know more about the volume and the amplifications. I know about how to publish it. I know about pregnant pauses. I know about what anchors do in a news station. But I don't know everything about it. I'm still learning about podcasting to this day. But compared to culinary arts, mechanical work, podcasting, and broadcasting is number one on my podium. Plus, this is life. And this isn't a motivational speech. This is just a factor of life. When something becomes all you know, it becomes a part of your life, whether you realize it or not. That's why my mother says, these are my children. All she's known for over 10 years is teaching. It is the matching post-it note to our identity. And there's more post-it notes on my back, but broadcasting is one of them, and I can't see it going anywhere. It's like in that wrestling intro in C154 to 157, the WWE specials, more information. Then, now, and forever. I found podcasting then. I'm still doing podcasting, and I will forever be doing podcasting, or at least retain the knowledge I had from it. Now, it is odd to say this, but podcasting and changing autism's view gives me an adrenaline rush. It really does. There's something about podcasting and changing autism that makes my blood boil in a good way. And it makes me happy and just excited. But how do I get excited? I don't know. It's unexplainable. You probably ask any other podcaster the same question. What about podcasting makes your adrenaline rush? You know what they're going to tell you? I don't know. You can even ask anyone else with their interest. What about your interest makes your adrenaline rush? They're going to tell you, I honestly do not know. It's just something I like. If magic tricks don't exist, that is true magic right there. I'll even argue it's the best magic trick out there. I even owe podcasting. It's one of the items that got me out of the dump. So when the season 1 finale, and for listeners, C160, Autism Rocks and Rolls season 1 finale for more information, my mother said it took a village. Well, she's right, it took a village, but the village just didn't consist of people. It also consisted of items as well. But what's so cool is podcasting didn't find me, I found podcasting, because when I was so bored and I took a stroll out of my village, it was the best stroll because there it was in Media Club, podcasting, and a soundboard just sitting there. I tried it, and when you find something that you like, it just clicked. With me, it just clicked. In the soundboard, and I had a, and I quote, conversation to see if we could get along, and it turns out we really did. We instantly liked each other, and I took the soundboard and broadcasting knowledge back to the village, and it stuck with me ever since. And why stop? I mean, why would I not when I get some pretty cool privileges? Some of those privileges are meeting celebrities and strangers. Okay, when I was 15 years old, and you've heard this from the friendship story in C104, Making Friends and Getting That Girl for more information, all I knew pretty much was family. But today, I know people in my state. I made more friends in my personal life, but also in my professional life. At the age of 8, it was just mother and dad and grandparents. Well, at the age of 21, it's mother, father, and grandparents. But it's also, I know people in northern Indiana. I know people in southern Indiana. I know people in Nevada. I know people in Washington. I know people in Texas. I know people in California. Not the Hotel California, just California. But in all seriousness, I even know people in Florida. It even expands on that. It goes out of the United States. I met people in Canada and Kenya who was way overseas from me. And some are even famous. Who can say they had a conversation with the professional wrestler Kane? And for the listeners, C242, Surrounded in Fire with Kane, aka Mayor Glenn Jacobs, more information on that one. A lot of people can say they met him, but can a lot of people say they've had a conversation with him? Another privilege is I learned one story. So it's not just me, I get to learn theirs. All I have to say is once upon a time, and the guest just fills in the dots. And it's so cool to hear what they have gone through. The stories could be alike and different. I mean, maybe Billy and I were both bullied. Or maybe when I was getting stabbed in the back with pencils, he was in rehab trying to calm down his drug abuse problem. Or when I was getting big eyes, someone else was trying to manage their PTSD they got from their time as a veteran. It's a constant reminder everyone's going through something. Also, I get to tell my stories. So as I said in previous podcast appearances, I like doing this because the stories I share, you had to be there to understand them, or if I try explaining it, it would have came out wrong. Well, I have this platform to tell those stories now. In a way, the microphone has become my counselor. Also, the privilege I get is a nonprofit. I'm now a business person making events and hosting them, with help clearly, but I'm still the main boss of it. And I'm traveling to Florida, which I've been to for vacation, but not for work. I've even been to Canada. And if you would have told me I would have gone to Canada 5 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. I would have never dreamt of going outside the United States. One, because I didn't know if I would ever travel. So when I did, it was great. But going outside the United States, I just didn't know. Not because of certain autism behaviors, but because of money. I'm not saying rapport. It's just the price to go outside the United States is expensive. Plus, I get credibility. So when you go to a job interview and you want to see more on jobs for the listeners, see 135, you start Monday for more information. But you go to the job interview, what are you going to put on your resume? Your education. You're going to put graduated from high school with the Core 40 diploma. I went to college and graduated from there. I was this, I know how to do this. My organizational skills are this and this. And that's wonderful. That needs to be on a resume. Heck, I'm going to put that on a resume myself when I do my actual job interview. But I can put the education and the skills. I have a Core 40. I graduated from this college. I graduated from this college. But I also have won this award. I placed second in this place. I did this in the CEO class and won. Oh, did I mention I'm a TEDx speaker? I don't know much people I could put, they've done a TED Talk in their resume. But there is a population of TEDx speakers and TED speakers. And if you've done it, congratulations. We're in the same boat and that's awesome. Another privilege I get is respect. Back when I was getting excluded and I got big eyes, I wasn't respected. Well, ever since this podcast has started, the times that I've dealt with the exclusion and the times I've gotten the big eyes, it has decreased. And I'm getting respect put on my name. Don't get me wrong, I know I'm still dealing with it. You're not going to get everyone to like you in this world, but I feel better compared to 2017. However, the biggest benefit I've received is dun 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 freedom. And yes, I've ever sing the song. Freedom, freedom, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Or I could do Pharrell Williams. La, 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 la. Probably butchered that one up. But anyway, it really has given me freedom. Freedom is my favorite word in the dictionary because freedom gives you the chance to breathe. And when I did try to breathe and spread my wings, I got shot with BB guns. But ever since this podcast, they're more spreadable than they once were. However, the kicker is now it's harder to keep the wing spread because I'm still getting shot at with BB guns a little bit to this day. But that's a burn I would take over the other one any day of the week. They say in professional wrestling, it's harder to keep the title than win the title. Not for me. It's the other way around. I'll have to agree to disagree with WWE on that view. This podcast has even given me a legacy. I finally have something to be known for. Back when I was 14, it was just the weird kid. Now it's a podcaster, and these audio pieces are going to outlive me. When I'm dead, they're going to be alive. Believe it or not, I'm speaking from the grave on a screen. So before I went on hiatus, I said in the last season's finale in C260, Autism Rocks and Rolls Season 2 finale, I believe I am a bad guy. Well, Autism Rocks and Rolls has calmed that belief down. It is true, I don't feel like I'm the nicest guy alive. I've said it in that episode. I wish I could see myself the way people see me. It's my way of saying I'm sorry. The Meltdown episode, C107, Meltdowns, Autistic Style for more information, is my way of saying I'm sorry for all the meltdowns. The sensory issues and C123, sensitive feelings, it's my way of saying I'm sorry for having that. For the times I overthink and C108, thinking through, it's my way of saying I'm sorry for overanalyzing. It's also my way for saying I'm sorry for not seeing things the way you do sometimes when I should. It's probably the longest apology letter ever, and my roots are organic and natural. I never had the silver spoon in my mouth. I never even asked for this. It all came to me. Now I could argue I didn't work for it, but I did. This takes hard work, and it doesn't come very easy. I had to bust my butt to make a gala happen. I had to bust my butt to get 18.3K downloads. I had to bust my butt to make sure it's on the level where it is today. It's existing because of my dedication to it. I don't know where I would be without Autism Rocks and Roll. And this podcast is even for a good cause. Autism is for a good cause, and I'm happy that we're aware of it. And there are some days where you do celebrate autism and other conditions, but why are we celebrating it every day? It's a load of bullcrap. And that's why I also keep coming back to Autism Rocks and Rolls. It's due to the amount of bullcrap I'm still tolerating with. So even though I'm having an award-winning podcast, I'm still getting called dumb ASF. If you know what ASF is, please look it up. I don't feel comfortable saying it. But once you look it up, you'll be like, really? That's what you think of him? And why aren't people still getting the difference between a meltdown and a temper tantrum? That needs to be heard about. And why in the heck are there not more sources for autism? Yet there is for mental health. Autism is a mental health condition. Make some sources like you do for other mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression. It's ridiculous. Why are people still not getting our sensory overloads? It's torture for us. Yet you still think, whoa, he's being a brat, you should spank him. No, not all the time, buddy. There are even elements of the bullcrap that are just ridiculous myths. Some of the myths are we're dangerous humans and C-212 flying off the handle. Do we have aggression issues and anger issues? Yes, I will not lie to you there. But are we choke slamming people or throwing chairs all the time? No. We do have a calm side to us, and it's hard for me to imagine a certain population of people with autism murdering someone. Another myth is we're antisocial. And you're right, some are. And they do struggle socially in C-215 conversation operation for more information, but people with autism may require assistance with social skills or engage differently with the environment surrounding them, but the majority of people with autism like connections. They express their social challenges in various ways. Some people are reserved and don't like to talk at all. They'd rather be the kid in the hoodie, or they talk too much and struggle to hold two-way conversations. That's also me sometimes. But I'll tell you this, taking the effort to learn about how they are and comprehending who they are will have a major impact on them and yourself. Another myth is it's only in boys. So more boys than females are diagnosed with autism. That is a scientific fact. But people of both genders can be on the autism spectrum. It's just frustrating because it often passes by girls. What I find intriguing though is that ladies with autism perform better socially than males. This myth should get you. It's caused by bad parenting. Really? No, it is not caused by bad parenting. Research has shown that upbringing is not the fault. Now, granted, it might be hereditary, but it's not by the way you were raised. Autism is family business, but the way you were raised and autism do not intersect. The final myth is when you have autism, you cannot form relationships. What? I have relationships with people, thank you very much. They may not be the best at all times, but they're still relationships. You might have to form them in their own way. Instead of the holding hands, you might have to separate the hands for a minute. However, there's a fact that keeps me on the rope, and why I also come back every time, and that is people do not know how to take us. It drives me furious because two things happen when you're diagnosed with autism. You're either on the higher level than some, and then people take you as, oh, you have high level autism? Ooh. Yeah, he's probably a creep. Or you have what they call, and I air quote because I hate it, low functioning autism, and then they're nice to you because they feel bad for you. That's not how it should be. I know I have a friend, if this person called another person 3 times, they would think creep. Some are, but that's not the only case. It is because of a medical condition that people are not educated on and need to be. And we want to adapt, but how can we when society pictures us as gruesome human beings? Heck, I have a perfect example of this. One of my friends, who I'm friends with right now, he met someone with autism. From what he told me, there was just a lot of behavioral challenges, and he felt bad for them, but didn't know how to take her. Well, ever since he's met me and another person with autism, I think his eyes opened up a little bit. But there are people out there right now, like my friend, who don't know what to do or how to take us. And people need to know that, or it's going to be a disaster for the people on the spectrum and a disaster for society, and may I add, humanity. Now, folks, we're going to hear from our old friends, the Bluebirds, so let's get to it. Have you ever wondered what is the most fun thing to do in Bloomington, Indiana? If you do not know, I have the answer for you because it is time to bring your best dance moves to the Bluebird in Bloomington, Indiana. This rock club does not only host live music, but has karaoke nights as well. Please visit the Bluebird at 216 North Walnut Street, Bloomington, Indiana 4704. If you have any questions, please contact them at 812-336-398. I repeat, that is 812-336-398. Or leave them an email at their email address, dkubayak1@gmail.com. That is spelled DKUBIAK1@gmail.com. This is the place to be if you want to have a great time. I can promise you that. Alright folks, we're back. You might see a Bluebird there, you never know. There are some great things people with autism do that society needs to look at. Some of the ideas I want people to look at for this season are people with autism are the nicest I've said on Indiana Daily Student, some of the people with autism are the nicest people I've ever met in my life. That is so true. The reason is we're loyal. We're the cockroaches you actually want. As Sami Zayn said, I am loyal to you today, tonight, tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and as long as you want us, we're not leaving you. Also, I want you to think about their talent, because it can lead them somewhere. Their special interest, as I've said before, does take them somewhere, parents. It's up to you to tap into it. Case in point, I know someone who is probably gonna have a hard time socializing in the workplace, but I know if this person gets a job, they will produce some quality broadcasting work. Another thing I want people to consider is people with autism can adapt. It's just that sometimes they're hard-headed, or parents can probably agree with me on this one. You have to play the role of negotiator with them sometimes. As my grandfather says, C-122, meet Big Joe for more information. It's a two-way street. You have to work with each other, not against each other. The final thing I want people to understand is we have some social skills. So are my social skills the best, and others on the spectrum the best social skills? No. But it's not like we don't have any. You know what? Some people on the spectrum try. And if they're trying, that's enough for me. So I'm telling people out there, if they're trying, take them in. They're doing what they know best. To conclude, we can adapt, but it's your turn to as well. And that's what this season is going to be about, filled with other great topics and new guests and new stories that'll be ventured out. Well, folks, I think I'll be all for today. Hope you took something from this. But before you check out this season, be sure to check out the other 2 seasons of Autism Rocks and Rolls. Thanks for joining for this episode. Please tune in for another episode coming in very soon. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. Thank you very much.